dear children. Now let us today do mirror halves. Means let us learn about mirror halves, mirror images and mirror lines. And we will learn this through this exercise, that is 12.3. Now first of all, let me tell you that what is mirror half or mirror image. Suppose we have a figure. Okay, let us take this figure. Suppose we have a figure and we have divided this figure with the help of a line into two similar parts. Okay, now here this dotted line has divided this figure, this rectangle, into two similar parts, and each part is the mirror half, or we can say mirror image. Okay, and this dotted line is known as the mirror line. Now let us read the question. Look at the following figures. Tick those which are divided into two mirror halves. Now we have to see that out of these given figures, which figures are divided into two mirror halves, means two equal parts. Now let us see first of all this one. So yes, this figure has been divided into two mirror halves because this mirror line is in the center of this figure, this rectangular shape figure, and this is the mirror line, and both the sides are equal, and both the images, you can say, both the parts, you can say, of this figure are similar. So yes, this figure is divided into two mirror halves. Now let us see this letter A. Exactly, this letter A has been divided with the help of this mirror line into two similar parts. So yes, this figure is also divided into two mirror halves. Now let us see this letter P. Now here this portion and this portion are not similar. So these two parts are not similar. It means this figure is not divided into two mirror halves, because mirror halves is when both the parts of the figure are similar. Now here this heart-shaped figure is divided into two mirror halves because both the figures, both the parts of these figures are similar. Now here this rectangle, this portion is smaller and this portion is greater. So this is not divided into mirror halves. Mirror halves means both the parts should be equal, similar. Now here this cone, again this portion is different and this portion is different. If this figure would have been divided from here, then we would have said that it is in this figure is having two mirror halves, but in this way, the way they have divided it, it is not into two similar parts. It is not divided into two similar parts. Now let us see the circle. Yes, both the parts are equal. So this circle is divided into two mirror halves. Now let us see this figure. Yes, it is divided into two similar parts. Now let us see 2. No, this portion is different, this portion is different, so it is not divided into similar parts. Again we can say both the parts are different, so it is not divided into two mirror halves or similar parts, you can say. So this figure is divided into two mirror halves or two similar parts. Again, this figure is not having two similar parts. This one is different and this one is different. Now let us see the letter M. Yes, it is exactly divided into two mirror halves or two similar parts because both the parts are equal. Now let us see the next question. Draw a mirror line to divide each of the following figures into two similar halves if possible. Now some figures are given and we have to draw mirror line to divide each of the following figures into two similar parts, and that too if possible. It's not that every time we can divide a figure into two similar parts. Let us see letter L. We cannot divide this letter L into two similar halves. And this 0. Yes, we can divide this figure 0 into two similar parts. You can draw the mirror line like this or like this also you can draw. It's your choice. You want to draw it vertically or horizontally. Now let us see figure F. This letter number 5. No, it cannot be divided. Okay, now let us see number 8. From the center we can divide it into two similar halves. Aeroplane, yes, from this side we can divide it into two similar parts. See, you won't be able to see it. Okay, now this one, yes, of course, vertically we can divide it, horizontally and vertically, both the way we can divide this 50 rupee note into two similar halves. Now let us see the balloon from this side. We can divide this balloon into two similar halves. Now let us see this one also we can divide horizontally as well as vertically. This one also you can divide vertically as well as horizontally. Okay, now it's our choice how we want to divide it. Okay, now the next one, it can only be divided vertically, not horizontally. Now this shirt can also be divided into two similar halves. Now this mouse cannot be divided into two similar halves because we can't divide it. Okay, so this is how you can just look at the figures and just see whether you can divide the given figure into two similar halves or not. Now here in this question, let's see the question first. Guess the letters or words by looking at their halves. Now half portion of the letters or words is given and we have to guess which letter or word is it, and then we have to complete it. Okay, we have to draw another half. Now this one we can guess as D. Okay, you can draw it equally. Okay, then next one is K. Okay, you can draw it. Next one is U. You can easily guess. Okay, this one is V. This one is I. This one is C. This one is E. This one is B. Okay, this one is O. Now this one is X. Let's see how we can complete it like this. Okay, so this is how you can guess the one half of the given letters and you can complete it. So I hope you would have understood what is mirror image, what are mirror halves, and what is mirror